into the final for KZ2. It's the only class in New Zealand kart sport that does the standing starts. Everyone else with the rolling starts. Now, we heard from Ryan Grant, he's been having some tyre dramas. With so much heat generated this weekend, maybe a combination of setup, getting the tyre pressures right. I've seen a couple of tyres delaminate through the weekend, and that probably cost him the victory in the pre-final for KZ2. That pre-final was won by Carl Wilson, who didn't get the greatest of starts this time. Ryan Grant out to the early lead. There's Wilson making the pass on the 95 of Michael Kaiser for second. So the chase starts. Carl Wilson, can he get to Ryan Grant? Now, over the last 3 or 4 years, we've seen Ryan Grant, especially in the finals of these big races, get the start, put his head down, really put in some fast laps early, and goes into conservation mode in the middle of the race just to conserve tyres. And if he needs to at the end, he's got enough pace to be able to get back on the gas and hold off the chasers. 80 Matthew Grant making his return to kart sport. Maranello chassis, number 80. So Grant looks like he's in the 4th position, chasing down Michael Kaiser. So Kaiser, Grant, 6 of Ashley Johnson. This is the 3rd, 4th, 5th. Side by side, Grant and Kaiser. Ashley Johnson's going to slip up the inside of Grant, who was trying to get by the 95. Just hung himself out a little bit to dry. From the run down the hill off the top hairpin in front of the pit complex here at the Roy's Hill Raceway in the Hawke's Bay. 10 Richard Moore. Hasn't done an awful lot of kart racing in KZ2. Moved through the ranks from junior restricted to junior. Very, very competitive in the Rotax classes, of course. So the longest race distance of the weekend, 35 laps for the final of KZ2. It'll be a similar distance for the final of KF3 in Jika. Can Ryan Grant take out his 2nd consecutive CIK trophy for New Zealand in the KZ2 class? So in the middle stages of the race, Ryan Grant just backed up his lap pace a little bit, just conserving tyres. With the pressure off at the moment, he can't afford to overheat the tyres. That'll upset the handling of the kart like we saw in the pre-final. Carl Wilson taking out the victory in the pre-final of KZ2. He's in 2nd, chasing down Ryan Grant, but he's about 3 seconds back on the race leader at the moment. Richard Moore, Jonathan Pearson, this is up inside the top 6. 2 Maranello chassis. So they're having an entertaining battle, and it's just ended in grief. Pearson carrying some damage to the right side pod. Here's the replay, down to clubhouse turn. Pearson went down the inside, wasn't a lot of room down there. Ran up over the back of Moore's number 10. What damage has it done to the back of the 10? And it has done damage. It's bent a rear axle by the looks of it. There's lots of vibration in the rear of the kart, or maybe a flat right rear tyre. So Pearson continues on. He's carrying damage to the right side pod. So Richard Moore's race could be over here. The final of KZ2. Steve Brown goes by him in the 8. Here's the race leader, Ryan Grant. He's pretty much got the length of the straight advantage over Carl Wilson. And it's a couple of second gap back to 3rd, Michael Kaiser. So Jonathan Pearson and Richard Moore, they were disputing the 5th and 6th positions before their clash. Blue flags out there on the racetrack. It's Steve Brown just ahead of Ryan Grant. Ryan Grant doing it very comfortably here. Goes by the 8 of Steve Brown. Steve Brown currently running in the 6th position. This will be a good return for Brownie. So Ryan Grant getting down towards the business end, just conserving pace. He set the fastest lap of the race, a 31.3, and he did it pretty early on. He wins his 2nd KZ2 CIK Trophy of New Zealand in succession. Ryan Grant victorious ahead of Carl Wilson. The gap was 3 seconds. 2 seconds gap back to Michael Kaiser in 3rd, followed by Johnson, Pearson, Steve Brown and Richard Moore.
Ryan, congratulations, you retain your title.
Yeah, no, we did a couple of changes to the kart for that final and all paid off. The kart went well, engine went well, so I got a bit of a lead and thought, you know, hey, there's no point trying to push it because we've been having trouble with the tyres, so we just cruised from there.
The key you said earlier was you had to start from 2 and get to the front to turn 1.
Definitely, that was the key, just to get to the front as quick as possible and make a headway from there.
Carl, just tell us about the start because that looked like the crucial part of the race.
It was, like I said, after the pre-final win, but I just tended to bomb it then, so that was a big thing to the race, I think.
Michael was giving you hurry up for a fair part of the race.
Yeah, he was. Me and Michael have been pretty close in qualifying and throughout the heats, so it was to be expected. Shame we couldn't sort of try and keep up with Ryan a bit.
Michael, well done on the podium, 3rd place.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a tough day. Us top 3 have been pretty close all weekend, and
yeah, it looks like you're having a pretty good battle there with Carl for a while.
yeah, it's sort of we've been close today, and going into that final, I looked at my brake bias and thought it would moved, and it was actually where it should have been. And the first third of that race, I was struggling with too much front brakes and dropped back a long way, whereas I should have been a long way further up. So I kind of killed the race for myself. But hey, that's racing.